It's a familiar situation. You might be facing it right now. Maybe one of your kids, grandkids are, but recently graduated from college, starting my first job. How should I invest my 401k? This is foundational advice. I'll tell you how I responded, what recommendation I gave. Got that and more coming up. Anytime you have a 401k at your disposal, whether you're changing jobs, whether you're starting a job, or if you're already in your job and you've got a 401k at your disposal, you've got to answer 5 key questions to make the most of it, okay? So how much are you contributing? How much should you be contributing? That's the first question. Should that be pre-tax or Roth? Technically, there's 3 options. You could do after tax as well. After tax sounds like Roth. It's not. So pre-tax or Roth, that's the second question. Third, how should you invest those dollars? What is your investment allocation? What should that be? That would arguably be the biggest and most important financial decision any of us get to make. Third, what's your rebalance schedule? Many people, if you hung with me for those first 3 questions, I might have gotten you on that last one. You probably didn't have that one on your bingo card. But how frequently are you going to rebalance? You want to set up automatically. The history has shown that it really doesn't matter whether it's quarterly, 6 months, or annual, but that you do have a rebalance schedule so that the recipe doesn't get too far out of whack. And then fifth, who are your beneficiaries? If something happens to you, which I know nothing will ever happen to you, but if something does, who gets this money? Those are the 5 decisions that you need to make anytime you have a 401k. Well, at the time I'm recording this, lots of people graduating from college right now, and got a fantastic question from the child of some clients. And they actually warned me that this was coming. They said, hey, so-and-so, they're graduating, and asked us a question about how to invest her 401k. And I wondered, would you be able to help? Would you be willing to help? Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. These are foundational and habit. I mean, the instruction or the trajectory, let's just say, right out of the gate at college is so critically important. Building wealth is a formula. How much cash, how much risk, times how much time, right? And when you're just starting your working career, you've got a lot of time. You might not have a lot of cash. You got to figure out how much risk to take and leverage time. And so, yes, I said, absolutely, have her reach out. Well, she did. She did just recently. And here's what she said. I just signed up for my 401k. I'm contributing 5% pre-tax. Could you help me figure out what to invest in? I can get you screenshots and all that sort of stuff. So yes, of course, I would love to help. And I want to tell you exactly how I responded, whether you're in this same spot, whether you've got kids that are about to graduate, just graduated, or maybe recently graduated, or maybe grandkids as well, because again, getting off on the right track can make a ton of difference, adding, years and decades and so on. So you want to make sure they're on the right trajectory. So in my response, I'm not going to show you exactly my response, but I was warm and pleasant. Yes, happy to help and all that. And I said, we typically coach clients to start contributing to their 401k at 15% or as much as they can possibly do. Starting at 15% and then figuring out how to live on what's left gets you on the right track of the right savings habits for the future. So I said, and I know this about her. She just was able to buy a house and she's got student loans. And so there's a lot. This is a challenging financial transition going from school to a career, and what she's juggling. A lot of people are still renting at this stage and have mom and dad helping. No, she's trying to figure this out. And so I said, if you can't get to 15% right now, do as much as you can. And then you know what I'm going to say. I said, and then increase your contribution by 1% automatically every single year until you get to that 15% mark. That's what I would tell you for you. That's the advice that I got at the beginning of my career. I have not looked back. And that is extremely, extremely important that you get on an aggressive contribution schedule from the very beginning. Second, and this is one of those 5 decisions, I said, while it may make sense to contribute pre-tax, that's a good choice. At your stage of life, I would favor and encourage contributing to the Roth side of your 401k, not the pre-tax. Guys, I don't know her tax situation. I don't know how much money she's making. I can infer she's probably into the 22% tax bracket. She's single individual and has a great degree and I believe a good job. She's probably into the 22% tax bracket. But here's what I said. Without knowing much about your overall tax picture, I do know at this stage and how young you are, if you're able to have all of your contributions contributed to the Roth side, so the growth will be tax-free for the rest of your life, that's a great position. So hopefully I said that, effectively, delicately enough, but direct, and said instead of 5% pre-tax, go 15% Roth. And I hope she can make the adjustments to do it. Now, lastly, with the 401k, after getting the screenshots and the investment mix, I'm recommending a diversified but aggressive mix. And because she's never invested before, when I laid out the recipe of, approximately, and we try to get towards an overall global market allocation, but with slight overweights to US because of how it drives economic activity and innovation throughout the world. But we don't want to not have international, not have emerging markets, but no bonds is very aggressive, and a slight overweight to US, slight overweight to large, even though we still have small cap, we still have mid cap. So laid out that recipe and I said, right now, I would set your expectations that the stock market or your investments may not provide an outsized return right now. You want to focus on building the right habits and saving aggressively into this aggressive mix that's going to go up and down with the market. I wouldn't expect significant market gains in the short term. Very possible we see some downturns in the short term, but you are setting things up on a glide path for long-term future appreciation. And that last sentence is the crucial part, because it's not that the recipe is less important, but the expectations are just as important as the recipe. Because if a new investor expects that, well, I'm going to invest, and when I see it go up, I should expect it would go up a lot, and I really shouldn't expect it to go down. No, those are the wrong expectations. And if those are the expectations that they have, and they want to make a change, or they want to say, oh, I didn't do it right, and they make some shifts right at the beginning of their career when the trajectory and the habits are so critical, you want to make sure the expectations are grounded in reality so that they stay with those right habits over the long term. Now, I didn't talk about rebalance schedule or making sure that you've got the right beneficiaries. Maybe we'll see as that conversation continues to evolve and goes back and forth. I'll certainly touch on those things. But those 5 questions, do you have a 401k, and do you have a great answer for all 5 of those? Work with your certified financial planner. If not, your CFP should know all 6 areas of your financial life. And certainly, if you've got a child or grandchild that's just getting started in their financial journey, buying an hour of a certified financial planner's time, making sure not only are they certified, but they follow the right process, that can get them established with the right habits early on to get them on that right trajectory. So work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. Out there you have it. Go on and take your next wise step in your financial life.